Welcome to Bytes. Today, we're diving into a war that totally shaped the modern world. We're talking a conflict of spies, secrets, and yeah, the constant threat of total annihilation.
So, that was the big question, right? How do you fight a war where the armies never actually meet on the battlefield? Well, that was the central puzzle of the Cold War, a decades-long struggle that pitted two massive superpowers against each other in, well, pretty much every other arena you can possibly imagine.
Okay, so after World War II, the world basically split right down the middle. Let's take a look at the opposing teams.
On one side, you've got the United States and its allies, what we call the Western Bloc. They're all about capitalism, individual freedom, free markets, democracy. And on the other side, the Soviet Union and its allies, the Eastern Bloc, pushing their vision of communism. Think state control, economic equality, and one-party rule. And look, this was not just some political disagreement. It was a deep, fundamental clash over the very idea of how a society should work.
And this ideological divide, it became a very real, physical one. This idea of an iron curtain descended across the continent, literally dividing Europe and the world, locking millions of people behind a massive wall of Soviet control.
And this conflict, wow, it had the highest stakes you can possibly imagine. Why? Because both sides had the ultimate weapon.
You know, the US ended World War II with the atomic bomb, thinking they had this incredible advantage, but the Soviets, partly thanks to spies, caught up, and they caught up fast. This kicked off a truly terrifying nuclear arms race. I mean, just look at this. In 1945, the US has the A-bomb. By 49, the Soviets have one too. Then the US develops the hydrogen bomb, way more powerful, in 52. And guess what? The Soviets have their own just 1 year later. The speed of this escalation was just insane, and it created this constant shadow of fear that hung over daily life for decades.
Now, the Cold War wasn't just something happening between governments. No, it seeped into the very fabric of society. It created this really strange culture of both intense, crippling fear and, at the same time, this incredible ambition.
In America, this Red Scare just took hold. It was a period of intense anti-communist paranoia, often called McCarthyism. People's lives and careers were literally destroyed based on nothing more than suspicion. You had loyalty oaths for government jobs and the infamous Hollywood blacklist, which ruined the careers of over 300 actors, writers, and directors, all just based on accusations. It was a time of rampant paranoia.
But here's the twist. That same fear also fueled this incredible ambition. The space race became this huge symbolic fight for who was better, capitalism or communism. And early on, the Soviets were winning. They stunned the world by launching Sputnik, the first satellite. Then they sent the first human into space, Yuri Gagarin. So what did the US do? They poured everything they had into winning the ultimate prize, landing a man on the moon. All of it, the rivalry, the paranoia, the nuclear arms race, it all came to a head in one terrifying moment. An event that brought the entire world closer to nuclear war than it has ever been, before or since.
October 1962. For 13 straight days, the entire world just held its breath. The discovery of Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba, just 90 miles off the coast of Florida, created a standoff that could have, and I mean this literally, ended civilization as we know it.
While the leaders were desperately negotiating, the tension was just unbearable. Soviet Premier Khrushchev himself wrote this to President Kennedy, acknowledging how close they were to a point of no return. It's this incredible image. They were both pulling this knot of war tighter and tighter.
You know, the whole world was focused on the White House and the Kremlin. But the most dangerous moment, the real tipping point, that happened in secret, deep, deep beneath the ocean, completely out of sight.
1. Just 1. That's the number that matters here. A Soviet submarine, B-59, was cornered by the US Navy. The sub's captain and its political officer, they both agreed to launch a nuclear torpedo. They thought war had already started. But one man, the flotilla commander, Vasily Arkhipov, said no. His single vote, his one no, very likely saved the entire world. So after that crisis, things began to thaw out a little bit. But the actual end of the Cold War, when it finally came, it happened shockingly fast.
It started in Poland, but then this wave of freedom just swept across Eastern Europe. And then, November 9th, 1989, the Berlin Wall, the most potent symbol of the whole Cold War, it falls. And after that, it's like a domino effect. East and West Germany reunite. And then, by the end of 1991, the Soviet Union itself, it just formally dissolves. It was over.
So the war was over, but its impact? Oh, it is still deeply embedded in our world today. It's like a ghost that's still hanging around. So what did it leave behind?
Well, for one thing, with the collapse of the USSR, the United States was suddenly left as the world's only superpower. This was a huge shift, and it completely redefined international relations for the decades that followed.
And it's not just geopolitics. The language of the Cold War stayed with us too. Take the term McCarthyism. Today, we use that word to describe any kind of reckless, unsubstantiated accusations, these really personal attacks on someone's patriotism. It's become part of our political vocabulary.
And this is maybe one of the most important takeaways for today. After 45 years of intense anti-communist rhetoric, words like socialism became really loaded terms in American politics. And you still see it, right? It's often used to criticize proposals like single-payer healthcare. It's a powerful echo from a conflict that's long over, but still shapes our debates today.
So it makes you wonder, doesn't it? The Cold War is over, but are its ghosts still drawing the battle lines in our world today? What do you think? Thanks so much for watching this explainer on Bytes. If you found this useful, definitely hit that like button, subscribe, and maybe share it with someone who might be curious. We have a lot more deep dives coming your way very soon.